Hey guys, Game Videos for Life here, and we're doing tutorial 2, so to speak, of Substance Painter for Evolution. This time going more into actual, simple setup. So, as you can see, we've got our Cryolophosaurus.obj. I work in 4K and then downscale it. As you can see, I started a little earlier. We don't want to save that. Oops, and I've already borked it. I've already borked the tutorial in under a minute. I am mildly impressed with myself. Okay, discard. So here you have your Dilophosaurus, not Dilophosaurus. I am all over the place. Here you have a Cryolophosaurus. We're using Cryolophosaurus because it is my favorite dinosaur. So, before we start anything, the first thing I do is material and then base color. From there, I go over to here where it says import resources, add resources, and I go to my folder dinosaurs, land, carnivores, medium, scroll all the way down here. And so for Jurassic World Evolution 2, you have your base skin and you have these two patterns. Now, for whatever reason, no one can explain to me why, probably. I haven't asked yet. Probably should. This is not the colors you need. So if I go here, I go to open with GIMP. And this is going to load up GIMP real quick. Yes, do your thing. 140 megabytes of RAM released. Wow. It's going to take its time. But if we go over to GIMP, we'll be able to see the proper colors, because you need to grab the exact colors. And as you can see, this does not look like this. So obviously I'm just going to file overwrite. I do have these colors in a section of my Discord, always on standby. And then you also will have this. Is it called? Oh yeah, it's called Allosaurus because I was doing something for a friend. Alright, we're going to go into here. We're just going to grab Cryolophosaurus. We're going to grab our P-Base AO, P-Base Normal Texture 0, and P-Base Normal Texture 2. For skin making, these are the 4 that you will need. Go Texture, 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 Texture. Import, project entitled, import. So now you have all these. So what I'd like to do is go to add fill layer, and we're gonna hit this so it closes and I don't have to see it anymore. There we go. We got full view now. And I like to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 layers. Very simple. Every time I start recording, I start yawning. I don't know why. And from there, what should have taken, like a minute or two has taken 3.5. Lovely. But yes, from there, what we're going to do is we're going to hit this button. We're going to drag this to here. Normal is going to be multiply for this layer. For this layer, we're going to leave it blank. You'll see what we're going to do with that one. For layer 4, set it to soft light and bring that bad boy down. And as you can see, we've kind of got it set up. I might be able to put this one to overlay. It kind of just depends on the file. So yes, we got that. Now we go to texture set settings. We go to this mesh maps page, select normal map. We select our normal map and we're going to bake the normals. 4K, normal, world space, and ID, get rid of, position, get rid of. Go to curvature, generate from normal, details 1 to 1, bake. That's going to take its sweet time because look at all those scales. Oh, gorgeous. You love to see it. Alright, and then from there, we're going to, that's what our fill layer 5 is going to be. So, no, set you to overlay, base color, going to scroll till we find curvature, If you want to do it quicker, just type in curvature. And there we go. So we got this. Now we're going to lower opacity to, for working, I'm going to say 40%. And then this layer is going to be skin, this layer is going to be skin, and this layer is going to be skin. Now we're just going to do a quick basic skin. Hide those for now. Let's do a blue cryo. Not too many blue cryos. Obviously you don't want the colors to be eye bleeding, so do take that into consideration. And what we're going to do with these is we're going to go up here where it says add black mask, and we're going to do that. So as you can see, boom. Now, just for standard, purposes, we're going to do a dark, and we're going to lower opacity. So the brush you're going to want to use depends on situation. So what I like to do is if I'm filling in large amounts of space, I will use Artistic Heavy Sponge. And I'll just get that all up there. And I have not turned on symmetry yet, of course. So symmetry is up here. Boom. Symmetry is on. Just gonna quick fill. This is very rough. Just a tutorial. This isn't like a proper skin. I think I have some skins I can show for proper skins. But other than that, it's either commission stuff or official stuff nowadays. So it's a bit harder. But just, yeah. Do that. Get the arms as well. And then I'm not happy with that darkness. Let's get it to about there. Now, this is pretty much a very rough design. Now, if I want to clean this up, I will go to Dirt 3, my beloved. Grab it, and we'll just go like this along the edges. Add some variation. And I am also going to do the same, but reverse, by going to the erase tool, hitting Dirt 3 again, make it smaller, and there we go. So as you can see, we're getting some texture now. Again, this is very rough. This is not meant to be a viable skin in game. This is just meant to be tutorial. So yes, there we go. Very rough base skin. Now, obviously, you can, since we have an air layer, we will use another thing. I do like to add little details. For example, if we go back to our Artistic Heavy Sponge, I really like to, oh, that's erased. We're going to go back to here. And this is going to be very dark at first. It'll make sense in a second. I really like the aesthetic of slightly darker, I don't remember the term. I want to say it's the fenestre. And there's a couple ways to achieve this. I could lower opacity and then like that, but that's a little So what I'd like to do is I'll grab Monet real quick. Kyle's Paintbox Monet. And we're going to smudge that in. Now it blends a little bit better. This same effect, though, can be achieved if we take our eraser and with a slightly lower opacity, usually around the 10% range, erase around. And now that we've done that, we can increase that, and we'll hit that as well. There we go. Just a simple effect. Nothing too major. Now, another thing I like to do is I will add a fill layer. We're not going to add a, black mask. We're going to go to base color, and we're going to type in concrete. Now, you can use any of these. So, say I want this one. I'm not a fan of that one, though. Typically, I tend to go with this one. This one is my favorite. Grunge Concrete Old. Now, if I go over to this tab here, I go to Projection, I go to Triplanar. As you can see, I can move it around now. So I think I'm happy with that. It accentuates the dark spot around the eyes and all of that. Good, juicy stuff. So then I would go to overlay. Now, obviously, you could do this. Wouldn't really advise it. But if you lower the opacity, you can get it much better looking. Like that, for example. Obviously, it's to taste, so someone may prefer it like non-existent, or people may prefer it like this. Personally, I prefer a nice little middle ground. Now onto the patterns real quick. Alright, in the most convoluted way possible, we have this image. Ignore all of this. This doesn't matter. What matters is these two colors. So, as you can see, we have our, just base skin, whatever. We need to get a pattern now. So what we're going to do is we'd export this. So just name this Krylov source test. And what you do is then go file, export textures. I have my own output template set up, which basically just means only thing that is exported is the base color. So I don't have 10 million things. You can go through here and just select everything except for the base color though. Up to you. So yeah, if you want to copy the output, it's this. I don't know if that helps, but yeah. Go back to global settings and export. So that's going to export, do its thing. And from there, we're going to hit fill layer, and we're basically starting over. So we're going to grab the color that is seen here, which is it is 8A, 8A, 8A. That is a very helpful / very annoying to remember number. All right. And then we're going to make a fill layer, black mask, and we're going to grab the pattern color, which is just 4s. That's a lot of 4s. 5 4s. That's not confusing at all. And we're going to go back here, and once again, we've got our artistic heavy sponge. Now, I want to give it a stripe, so that's what I would do. I just drag it along, getting different, widths and stuff. I will hit this again. This isn't meant to be viable though, so remember that. So there we go. There's our pattern. Very simple. Too simple. I'm gonna ruin it real quick. There's our pattern. 2 stripes on the face and a single stripe down the side. Now, in order to export this, you're going to need to do a couple things. First of all, how the pattern works. This light gray area denotes where there is no pattern. So what we do is we would go through and either, if you have like an eye layer set up, what you do is then go black mask and then just this button right here, which is the UV chunk fill. Boom. There's your eye done. Obviously, get the right color. There you go. Very rough. Couple of the teeth still have pattern texture, but this is what the general thing will look like. Now, if you want it to look a little better in game, what you will then do is you will take your pattern layer, which we have here, you will duplicate it, and then you will add the concrete texture once again. And then triplanar projection. Move it around till you see fit. I kind of like the idea of that, where we got some specks throughout. And then set that to overlay. There you go. You now have a pattern that is not going to look as pasted on in game, which is a very nice thing to have. And then once again, you're going to want to export that. Same exact way. And then from there, you move on to naming. So we're going to do this very simply. Simply put, just going to hit tab. Tab is what hides the UI, which I keep doing to show stuff, but keep forgetting I've done. So yes, test pattern. Boom. And file, export textures, export. And we've done it. Now, in order for those to work in game, what you need to do, which we're just going to do through this because I'm too lazy to open a proper thing, is you're going to want to take that pattern file you just made and then duplicate it and rename each one to match one of these. These are what denotes patterns in game. And then you're going to want to make a third copy of that, which you will then import to GIMP once again. So open with GIMP. GIMP is going to do its thing. There we go. We got GIMP. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Colors, Invert, and then you're going to want to export this as your P-base normal texture 1. I don't fully understand that part. I just kind of go along with it because it's what's required, but that is all you need to do. It's very simple making a skin for Evolution 2, and I hope that more people do mess around with it, because I like seeing what people come up with. So if you happen to, maybe tell me about it in the comments. I don't know. Join my Discord and post pictures in the modding section of the Discord. And yeah. Vada boom. You have now learned how to make a skin from the most confusing tutorial since my Primal Carnage Extinction tutorial. Boop.